29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1.
0.
I love that countdown. Guys, we are pretty lucky. We're doing an actual podcast tonight. It's not just a live. I got to do Ray's podcast the other day over at Everyday City Carry. It was a lot of fun. So I asked him if he wanted to come over and do ours. So I would like to remind everybody, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, there is a link to the full video podcast. I don't know how soon this is going to go up. I've been pretty bad about that. I just uploaded one that I did several weeks ago. So yeah, let's bring in Ray. I've got a bunch of questions written down for him. But before I do that, I want to let everybody know today is not just Friday, it's New Knife Day. I got a gift from one of my paying members. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring Ray in and we'll talk with Ray. Hey, buddy.
What's up, bro? What's up? What's
Nothing
up?
much.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. I see Mark H in there. That's my homie right there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I
have New Knife Day too, kind of. I guess I didn't get it today, but I did get it yesterday. This is the Urban EDC Supply F5.5 with bronze Sagaiha scales.
I like those scales.
It's not
such a fan of the knife itself, but those scales are hot, bro.
Yeah, I really like it. It's crazy. It's heavy as fuck too. It's so insane.
That's what I was gonna ask you. It looks heavy.
Yeah, I really, really like it. I love the Denim Micarta one, which is the one that I own. But Matt, who is the homie at Urban EDC Supply, drove an hour to come see me at my CBD shop. Look, check out the cat hair right there. That's authenticity, bro.
Right there.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Denim Micarta one.
Cat hair, or is that an under hair?
It's probably from my. It's probably from my my white cat, Robin Williams, his full name.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
we have a cat that's not actually our cat. The cat kind of adopted us when we moved in. He just we moved in and he was like, "Hey, I left the garage door open one day and I was sitting out here trying to figure out how I was going to set everything up out here to have a studio." And I was like, sat down in the chair like this and I'm like, "What am I going to?" And he just hopped up in my lap and I was like, "Oh, hello." It's just he's like, "I live here."
That's amazing, man. I would love that. I mean, there are cats. Of course, I live in the hood, so there's like fucking. I don't know if this is clean or not. I can keep it clean if you want.
On live feeds, not on podcasts. I like to keep it a little cleaner, but I curse in live feeds. I typically don't curse in my recorded videos, though.
Yeah. So I live in the hood, so there's probably somebody doing crack outside right now.
That's what I was going to ask you. We'll get to that question later.
But there are these, stray cats that come all the time, and everyone in the buildings like feed them. So I've never had one come in my house though.
This is actually the neighbor's cat, and I don't know if they don't feed him or what, but the landlord actually loves. No, this is weird. The landlord loves the cats, and when we got ready to rent this place, the caveat to it was he was cool with it as long as we were willing to feed the stray cats.
Wow.
And I'm like, I love cats, and we had been feeding them, and then just slowly over the last year, it's just gotten to where there's only like one cat that shows up to eat, and then this cat has just moved in.
Wow.
Like no joke, the dog and the cat are like best friends. We had a cat at the old place, and the cat unfortunately passed away after the lady that never took care of the cat came and stole the cat back when they moved. Kind of the same thing. Like the neighbor's cat just moved into our house, and but the dog just was kind of the dog was just lethargic and laying around and wouldn't do shit. And I'm like, what's wrong with the dog? This cat moved in, complete difference. Like she loves having a cat around. Like she always had a cat. Because when we got the dog, the cat was already living with us.
Yeah, our cat. We had two cats before this one. Louis Armstrong was the one that passed away, and my cat Frank Sinatra. My girl named all these cats, by the way. I chose Robin Williams though. But
my sister names her cats after. She has Sammy Davis Jr.
Right, she was gonna do that, but she's like, I'm going Rat Pack like too much, So we decided to go Robin Williams. But yeah, so Louis Armstrong died, and Frankie, Frank Sinatra, he was just like really sad, bro. Super clingy, always like meowing all the time.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like a very like kind of like a solo kind of dude usually. He would
Yeah.
play with Louis sometimes, but then we got Robbie, and I think Robbie's just too wild. They get along, but then Robbie is 2, Frankie's 10. So I think once Robbie's like 5 years old, they get along better. But they're the same size, dude. They're those ragdoll cats that when they go limp when you pick them up, both of them. And 13 pounds.
This thing is massive, and it just loves to be held. Like if you
that's
don't pick
that's
him
the
up,
best.
yeah, it's just great.
That's the best.
Let's go ahead. I have a question that I have to ask you, and
Sure.
I mean, I know that it comes from seeing me and Jim Skelton interact on on the Knife Nuts podcast Thanksgiving show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to watch the podcast I did with Jim Skelton by himself, it's much more laid back.
Yeah.
So I know, but like, what did you think I was, like a maniac or something? You're like, I was surprised how chill you were when we did the live feed. And I was like,
well, the thing is, right? I knew almost everyone in that chat, in that live. I knew all the OG guys like Shabazz, Advanced Knife Bro, Pete, and all these guys. Eugene Kwan even.
Yeah.
The only people I didn't know that well was you, Jim Skelton, and Brian Nadeau. That's the only 3 that I didn't know. I knew everyone else. So, I kind of knew everyone's mannerisms and stuff. But then you and Jim were just kind of vibing off each other and kind of like ragging on each other. But then
that's what we do. You should see us at a show.
But it's like from an outside perspective, if you don't know the two, it's just gonna look kind of weird, right?
So I was like, assholes.
I was like, are these guys just like this, And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get along with them or not or whatever. But then we did the podcast and it was awesome. Actually, Pete, who you did a podcast with, right?
Cedric and Ada.
Yeah. So I talked to him every day too. So he was like, yo, he's pretty cool. And I'm like, all right. So you know what I mean? I needed to promote Good Morning EDC, by the way. We'll get to that soon.
Yeah, that's actually like the 3rd question. That's
cool.
One of the things I got. But okay, so tell it. I mean, we know you like cats, obviously. Tell us about you, and then we can get into the. Then you get some bromance is strong in them. Aiden says, "Yeah, I love like I've never there's never been a channel like even meeting Jim Skelton. It was not like this big thing, but getting to talk to Pete was like getting to talk to like." I don't think I was even that like kind of like fanboy-ish when I met Jackie. I met Jackie Chan in Hong Kong, like in person, sat at his table and ate with him because we could tell that story later. But like honestly, like getting to talk to Pete was almost like it was intimidating because I love his channel. I followed his channel for a long time, and he's a great dude. And I was like, and then that just made it more fun. Like I actually started like I talked to Pete probably about once a week or so.
He's really funny, and he's a nerd like me. He's a knife nerd, but he's also an anime nerd. So we talk about anime and just silly things. So
Zach, thanks for the 5 bones, Zach. I'm not going to be ringing the bell because this is a podcast, and I've been asked. I saw some comments on the actual podcast that it apparently when you're listening to the audio, the cowbell, the big cowbell that
doesn't sound good.
No, I have a cowbell that I hit with a bat.
Oh shit. What if we did this?
That works. We can use your soundboard for this evening.
Yeah, I'm going to change that soon to the sayings of like some famous knife people. Nice. I'm going to put like hello out there from JT's Knife Life, like from way back in the day. Yeah, that's my boy right there.
So tell us about you and everything, and I'll just give you full screen because that'll give me a second to grab the stuff.
All right.
I was going to.
So Everyday City Carry is pretty much, if you're an EDC person, you like knives, you like gear, Everyday City Carry is a place you can go to just have a silly goose time. We keep it super, super silly. I'm talking about we watch silly videos, think America's Funniest Home Videos, but even raunchier. We got estrogen in the house too because my wife, the Kelly, is the co-host. They say to make it on social media, you got to have a white girl with tattoos. I married one, bro. So she is the co-host,
hilarious.
And every Monday we do a live at 9:30 p.m. EST, and it's just I try to tackle creating knife content in a very different way. Like it's a much more modern take on it, and that's just how I do it. I love podcasting, and that's my thing, man. I'm from New York City, which is another odd thing. So when people see me you know, in EDC videos, for example, people are kind of like, who the heck is this dude? He's from New York. He Asian. He talk kind of funny. You know what I mean? So, you know, people don't get it right away. But once they watch like an episode of the podcast, they're like, oh, this guy is a knife guy. Like for real.
Yeah.
He's just from New York, which is knife guy hell pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I get people look at me and they go, that guy's got a tractor channel on YouTube. Like, you know, he's talking about digging post holes. This is how you dig a post hole. You got to use the bucket to drive that thing down in there.
That's so funny.
Well, then you have PDM, which is a big part of my psychological makeup, which is Poor Decision Mike, and he comes out wearing a cowboy hat, does all kinds of stupid stuff. He gets me in a lot of trouble with the wife. So how did you get, because this kind of goes along with one of the questions.
Yeah.
How did you get into knives? And then the follow-on question with that is kind of like, what's it like trying to carry knives in New York? Because I've been to New York and I know what the rules are like, and they suck.
It sucks. And it's going to suck even more. Like I'm going to talk about this article that I read the other day. So I was just looking for a bag, right? I was looking for like a sling bag that I could carry every day. Before I got into the knife hobby, I was, you know, everyone has an EDC, whether they know it or not. Everybody has an EDC, right? And I was the type of guy that was super into tech. I carry 2 smartphones with me. I carry a battery pack. I have all these wires that I need. And, you know, I was looking for a bag to, you know, hold all my tech stuff in it. And coincidentally, tactical bags are the perfect things for that. So I was looking for tactical bags, and this was, I would say, almost 5 years ago. I found, maybe even 6 years ago, I found Prepared Mind 101, which is one of the OG channels, okay? And he was reviewing the Rap Dom tactical bag, which at the time was like $30, bro. It's like 70 now.
I was going to say they're more than double that now.
Yeah. So now I got it at 30. I got it on the ground floor and it was like really, really good. Then I subscribed to his channel, and I wasn't a frequent user of YouTube at that time. I wasn't really watching a lot of YouTube content yet. I always thought of YouTube as a platform where you could upload videos for free, and that was it. I had no idea people were making money. I had no idea any of this. And I saw Prepared Mind 101 review. Actually, this knife right here, bro. It's crazy that it's in front of me right now. This is the Rake P801.
Yeah, I had.
Remember this?
I had one of those. I did it as a giveaway on the channel years ago.
So much cat fur on this. But yeah, so he was reviewing this, and I was like, "Yo, these knife things are kind of cool." And then he said, "You know, this is only like what, like $38 or something. It's pretty cheap."
Remember. I got it. It was a gift to the channel. It was sent to me in a box of stuff. They're like, do it as giveaways and use it as content, and then whatever you want to do with it when you're done.
So I got into it like that. I started looking into knives, and I was buying everything in sight, bro. Like literally everything in sight. And I do like the interview podcast format. Great idea and execution, Mike. Thanks for coming on Everyday City Carry. Thank you so much, Pitt. This is every Friday. And actually, I did an episode with Mike, with Mike Emler on this morning's episode drop on Everyday City Carry podcast. That's on.
I watched it. I watched it while I was editing.
Yeah. And it's awesome. I mean, I love that conversation. That's why I asked to come on here. But yeah, back to the knife thing. I was buying everything possible. You know, I went on Amazon, folding knives, pocket knives, whatever, and I was buying M-Techs and Tac Forces, not knowing what I'm doing, of course, Gerbers and all that.
Frost cutlery on Cutlery Network.
I didn't even know if I had frost cut. I think I had like some. I saw this cleaver knife that was like it was definitely spring operated. It wasn't a speed safe because it was too cheap for that. You know, it wasn't Kershaw, and it was like Buckshot knives or something. It was like some terrible brand. And I was like, yo, these are so cool. I bought 2 of them, and I didn't know any better. But then I started to get into like watching Shabazz, watching the more knife-oriented channels. Love Them Knives was probably the first knife friend I've ever made on Knife YouTube. And Patty's Potato Peelers, JT's Knife Life, Stasa, these guys. I watched them all. And then I said, you know what? Let me take a stab at this. There is no Asians doing this. Like not even one. And definitely no Asians in New York City doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like not in New York State, New York City. I live in New York City. So
wait, is it Brooklyn?
I live in the Bronx right now.
In the Bronx. That's
yeah. So I am about 3 stops away from Manhattan. So, you know, I know Yeah, so I was like, let me take a stab at it, but I was like, I'm not that knowledgeable. I didn't grow up. I didn't go to the scouts. I didn't do any of this. I didn't, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like, why don't I try to come at this in a cinematic way? So all of my earlier reviews involved ridiculous amounts of editing. Like a 7-minute video would take me anywhere from 6 to 8 hours to make. And the first video was on the zero tolerance ZT0456 designed by Sinkovich.
Yeah,
And
Sinkovich, that's the smaller of the two Sinkoviches, right?
and
The
I
smaller
bought
one?
that's the chubby one.
Okay,
the 456. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I bought it from JD Cutlery, which it's like one of the OG anodizers on YouTube. JD Cutlery, Jeff Perkins. I bought one from him. It has like the cool lanyard. I don't know if I have it on here. I think I put it away. But like I put that video up and I fell in love with that knife. I was like, okay, this is what a $200+ knife feels like. I got to get more of these. So, you know, I put that video up, and literally in the video, I dress up like Iron Man. I dress up like a ninja. I run around the city. I have like a table. It's like a tabletop where everything is carbon fiber. And there was a kind of like a lazy Susan device that I made with a rare earth magnet in the middle, also covered with carbon fiber wrap. And then I would put the blade of the knife on the magnet, and I would like turn it and show like different sides. I did so much work, bro. And that's what I thought I would need to get ahead, right? And it kind of worked, because all the bigger channels were like, you are crazy for putting in that much work. You know, 5 years ago, nobody was doing that.
No one was doing it. But now,
Yeah,
if you
so-
look at guys like Cole and you,
Yeah.
and I've definitely
Everyday
obviously upped
Minimalist is by far, to me, and Backpack B is like the craziest out of everybody right now. But back then, no one was doing it, and definitely no one was being silly. I was cracking jokes. I was like writing material and stuff.
It was a very serious time in the knife world. Then. There wasn't a lot of humor. I mean, even Nick Shabazz didn't have a lot of humor back then. He definitely has
his voice and personality were eccentric and humorous on their own, and I think that's why he succeeded, because he had a really good personality to break through. But yeah, and you know, so all the channels, Jimmy Slash, these types of guys from back then would comment on all my stuff like, this is awesome, bro. So I kept on doing that. I kept on making videos. The third video that I made, I discovered this knife from a company called Sandrin Knives. I don't know if you know about them. They make
I just sharpened it. It was
I saw that. I saw that video.
Fucking horrible. That's one of the worst knives. Not just the sharpening, it's just a horrible fucking knife.
So I didn't know any better, of course. I'm looking at this thing like it's prestige, right? It's 900. This is the first series of the Sandrin Knives Clemente. The reason why I bought it is Clemente is the name of my dad who passed away, right? And I thought of it as like a way to pay homage to him and stuff, you know, save money, saving $995, bro. Like, today, for me, I would be like, I don't think I'm going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But back then, I had less money. And I bought it, and that video was super sad, dude. The opening line, first of all, there's panning shots of the knife very badly, because I knew nothing about cinematography then. And here, let's shout out to the $5.
Thanks, Daniel.
So you know, it was like panning shots of the knife. It was the Sandrin Knives Clemente 1, and the first line, you see letters pop up, and it says, some say you don't become a man until your father dies. And it's like really sad music in the background. I was like walking around the city while it was raining, just stuff that you don't see in the knife community back then. That's how I got in touch with Cedric and Ada, because he was looking for Sandrin reviews, and he saw that. And I got a lot of subs from that too, because people were like, yo, I lost my dad too, you know, stuff like that. People weren't like being really vulnerable in the knife community, especially. Like, I feel like even now, you know, like, I'm full disclosure. I talk about everything, and Kelly is part of the channel, so everyone knows everything about our lives. I mean, when Kelly and I got married last year, we live streamed our wedding on YouTube, and like the whole community was like watching it. So that's pretty much how it is. And I just kept on going from there, man. Just made friends, made connections, started the podcast, which was yo, you are actually the 200th episode, Mike. I didn't plan for this. Yeah. You were the 200th episode of the podcast. Patreon has a separate podcast that is only available on patreon.com, the greatest website of all time, patreon.com/everydaycitycarry. Tune into that. every week you get an extra hour-long podcast with more raunchier videos that we watch. The Kelly and I, we talk about current events. You know, we review movies sometimes, but it's the same podcast format as our live show on Monday. That one is already like 80 something. So we are almost 300 episodes deep of podcasting, which is insane to me. And it's this format, doing this with you right now, is my favorite thing to do.
I treat it like therapy. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it until I stopped doing it for a while. I think we talked about that after we ended. Yeah. And I'd like to address this. Mark is like, out here in 6th grade, the school takes you out for a week in the mountains hiking. Michael, you're from California. I am not from California. I don't know where this misconception comes from. I am absolutely not from fucking California.
Where are you from?
I'm from Southeast Ohio. I grew up in the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains. I took 2 weeks off every year to go deer hunting in school. Like, basically, deer hunting, the opening season of deer season in Ohio, like, the school is empty. Like, the only people there are a handful of the girls that don't go hunting and the teachers. Because every adult or every boy that is old enough to carry a firearm is out hunting, because we all grew up poor as shit. Like, a lot of us didn't even have indoor plumbing at this point. And that's how you get meat. Like,
exactly. Back in the deer hunting, a lot of meat.
Like, that was like, I'm like, I don't know where this misconception that I'm a California boy came from, but I mean, you should just be able to look at me and go, that boy, he's not from California.
Well, I mean, California has woods as well. If you live in like the northern parts, you know, there's good hunting up there too.
Good luck getting a permit to hunt that you can fucking afford.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So let's talk about, so you've started doing a morning live show. Is it a daily morning live show, or is it just once or twice a week?
So every Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. EST, Good Morning EDC comes on. You can hop on. Shout out to Urban EDC Supply. That is the company who created the F5.5 that I showed earlier. They send me a box of stuff. I have no idea what's in it. And the audience and I go through the stuff. We go to their website, we check out the specs, you know, everything that's about it, and then we discuss if like we like it or not. You know, we do a little smash or pass thing on the items, and we go through it, like, and it's kind of an easy medium to digest if you're just listening to it in the background. Let's say you're packing lunch for your kids, bro, in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You would rather.
I caught it after, like, I rewatched it because I didn't know it started. Like I said, I got up at like 5:30 this morning and started filming and editing, because like I don't have any other job right now other than that, because the COVID whole stuff. It seems logical. I did not grow up near Tri-State. Like, if you were to split Ohio into 4 pieces, he's in the bottom left, I'm in the bottom right, like opposite sides. And Columbus is the middle. Like, it's as dead center. Like, you can split the state of Ohio into almost 4 equal parts if you draw a line north and south from Columbus, east and west. It's I mean, they're not going to be equal parts. It's not like a pizza, but no, it was a lot of fun. I like the fact that you're doing that, and the fact that you've got basically like a sponsor. That's really cool.
I love those guys, man. I need to get with you about that. This is the first company. Yeah, definitely like intro you. This is the first company that's believed in what I'm doing, because I'm not going about Everyday City Carry like a regular, you know, like knife YouTube channel. I mean, I do all these raunchy booby videos on my Instagram
I love them.
that are crushing in views, by the way, in comparison to, I would do a 1 minute kind of like cinematic style, lots of editing review on a knife. Bro, not even a third of the views,
right?
Not even
the one that you put up with the chick, like she opened her mouth and you were like, that's impressive. You know, else is impressive, this knife. And I was like, that's fucking great.
Yeah, it's like I wanted to use these social media marketing tactics that every other niche is using, but us. Yeah. And I said, and I'm trying to make it funny too. I'm always trying to inject humor into it. And I think more and more people are coming on board, like, oh man, this is different. I'm going to check it out. And I think that's what Urban EDC Supply really liked. They approached me at first because they wanted me to do a show on Twitch, which I stream on Twitch too. And I didn't know how to operate it at the time. I was playing video games on Twitch sometimes. You know, the wife and I play video games. Like, I'm so lucky that she loves playing video games. And we would play, you know, as a couple on Twitch. And now, since I'm on Streamlabs Melon, that's the platform I'm using, it's so easy to build transitions and also like stream to both platforms at the same time.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't figure out how, like, I don't know how to be able to record on Twitch, because I would like to, like I do a stream on Twitch and like one person shows up, and then once I'm done, it's gone forever.
There's like a little tab that you can do. So what
I do it from when I'm gaming though. I'm doing it for my PS4, and I can't figure out how to get it to save. Like,
there's like a little thing on the options. I had to. So when I first started my Twitch channel, I didn't know anything. I have a bunch of friends that don't do YouTube, but do Twitch, like seriously, like making big bucks. And I'm just like trying to, watch them and like figure out what they're doing. And I would watch tutorials on YouTube. And even for me, bro, like I'm kind of like a child of technology, but even for me, I'm like, this is past my pay grade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but with Streamlabs Melon, it's so easy. I just click what platform I want to stream on, and you just gotta link it one time. So every time I stream live on Monday and on Tuesday for Good Morning EDC, it's already set up.
But does it record it?
Yes, because on my Twitch channel, I already clicked that thing. I also pay for Twitch monthly premium. Maybe that's why. Yeah. So I do pay for that. So what I'm doing is,
here's the thing. I don't ever play games, and like I might play a video game.
Dude, you could just chat on Twitch. A lot of people just have chatting channels. There's people that just work out on Twitch. There's girls making out with microphones on Twitch, making millions of dollars. So it's like
Twitch is a dirty, funky, weird place.
It's definitely weird, but I mean, YouTube is also weird.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I'm doing, my strategy with the channel is posting on every platform I can, because Instagram
driving stuff.
Yes, and it just drives more people to the YouTube channel or wherever I post the same video on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram in one day. And it does different numbers on each one, because certain people don't follow me on all the platforms. Like, why should I punish them to not see this thing? And then I just do it I've been doing it like that. And it's been working out really well. The TikTok is crushing it. YouTube is like going up. Twitter is okay. It's hard to grow on Twitter. Instagram is like, Instagram is Instagram. I think for me right now, if you were going to ask me what my main platforms are, it's probably TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought my buddy was like, I thought about it too. My buddy was like, oh, you should do some of the stuff like Ray's doing. I was like, here's the thing about my sense of humor. My sense of humor is reactive. I can't really I can be hilarious in the proper setting, because I've got that, like, I'm that guy that, like, when somebody says something, I'm going to have that witty comeback. Like, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, like, what's that beeping sound? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a truck backing up to drop off your mom's dildo. Shit like that. That's the shit that I like. It's just something that happens in my brain and it comes out. When I try to record stuff that is like me trying to be funny, it just doesn't come out right. Like you can ask my little buddy Nico, like he'll say something, or my buddy Tino, and the second they say it, you can just see him go, oh shit. And then they just see me smiling. I'm like, you ready? Because here it comes.
You could do that. A lot of people do reaction videos on TikTok. The cool thing about TikTok is that's different from Instagram. Let's say you make a video on TikTok, right? I could react to it within the app. I don't even need to leave.
Oh no, I have to react to a person. Like someone physically has to say something. Like if you were to say something in this, and it struck me as something that I would be able to exploit, dig in there and find something funny, I'm gonna say shit like my little buddy Nico. He's really short. One time he called me when I was at the shop, and he was like, before he even got a word out, when I answered phone, I was like, Nico, like, if you can't reach the beer on the top shelf, just ask one of the people that are there, grab a box or something. I'm sure someone will help you. Like, I know, like, they keep the good beer up high. And I was like, I know. And I was at Farron Ford's, and Elliot
should have done that.
Yeah. And Elliot was like, dude, you didn't even give him a chance to say anything. It's like, it's hardwired into your brain. I was like, I know. It's just,
you want to roast people. That's what
exactly. And I'm good at
it. So, but people do that on TikTok. People definitely do that. That's why I like it. It's tough to do nice stuff on there. So if you look at my videos, I'm never flipping the knife open, and I'm never holding a knife in my hand. Or I've gotten banned before.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I don't have anything on TikTok. I tried a couple, and I'm like, what do you mean?
The reason why I kept going on TikTok was I made another TikTok page called at EDC Carry, because Everyday City Carry was banned. And the only reason I kept going, bro, is I did this silly video. I was talking to the knife YouTube elites. That's what I call them, like Shabazz, Advanced Knife Bro, Cedric and Ada, Metal Complex, and those guys. I'm in a group chat with them. So I'm chatting with them, and it was really cold in New York, and it was snowing. It's like blizzard. And I said, yo, I'm dressed like a hobo right now. and they're like laughing. And I said, you know what? I want to make a video today. Just wait. I had an idea in my head that in order to survive New York City winter, you need to become the tactical hobo. So I'm wearing like Bates Delta 8 boots and all that. Posted it on my Instagram. It did okay. On TikTok, it did 500,000 views, and it was shared 5,000 times.
Like, you don't have to tell me about these videos you did. I mean, I know you're telling everybody, but like I like literally everything you put up on Instagram, I fucking watch it. Unfortunately, I'm shadow banned on Instagram, and no one can ever find my shit. Yeah.
Why?
You cannot. I don't know. I just
get likes
now after sometimes, like occasionally, like I'll put something up, it gets like 10, 15 likes.
Let's try tomorrow when you post something. I'm gonna share it on my stories. Let's see what happens.
You can't find me on Instagram unless you already have me like in your chat. If you're like, if you don't have me as a chat, you're gonna send me a DM. Like you have to type in my entire Instagram handle. You can't just type in my name because I posted up some political shit and Instagram.
That'll do it.
I lost, and they didn't tell me why. I didn't post up anything that was like bad. Like I didn't get anything taken down. I didn't get anything that was flagged content. But I lost my ability to live stream for like almost a year and a half. I just now was able to start live streaming again. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
So,
that's crazy.
Okay, speaking of New York,
yeah.
How much urine and feces do you figure is on your shoes when you go for a walk?
Probably a lot. We take our shoes off every time we come in the house. We
I
walk around in slippers. We have indoor shoes, indoor slippers, and that's pretty much how we rock it.
Yeah, my wife's Japanese. If you saw the picture I sent you earlier, like off of the carpet that is in my garage, even there, my wife and daughter and I take our outside shoes off, and then put on our slippers to go in the house from even out there.
I mean, it's there's a lot of bacteria, even not just New York. I mean, in New York, you definitely have fecal matter, bro. Like,
I'm surprised you don't have hepatitis just but like naturally, like from
it's
the air.
Crazy. It took me so long to get COVID because I got it at the tail end of it, and I was going to work. I was on the train and all that, and I did get it. And got over it real quick. I was like working out after a week already. You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah,
New York City is wild. So on the train, on one train ride, you will have maybe anywhere from 4 to 6 different people asking you for money, like homeless people. And
that's like walking around downtown.
Insane,
here
bro. Oh yeah, that's.
I don't know if you know this. Like
you got the tents,
bro. San Diego's nice, bro. It's 71 degrees at 6:30 in the evening in my garage, and it has been that temperature. Oh, I don't know, the last 4 days. Like it's outside, it's 59 degrees. It's 71 degrees in here, and I'm like, I should put on a sweatshirt.
What?
So, well, don't forget, I spent a lot of time downrange. Iraq, Kuwait, Afghanistan, Bahrain.
Oh, so you're used to
and I lived in Japan, which I lived in the southern part of Japan for like 10 years, which is like tropics. It's hot. Like
I was born in the Philippines, bro.
Yeah, I've been to the Philippines. Like I spent so much time in like hot climates near the equator and stuff, and then I was in Iraq and stuff like that. And I just like my mom and dad before my dad passed away. She's like, "You never come home for Christmas." And I was like, "Frozen water still falls. Frozen water falls out of the sky where you live. What's wrong with you?" Of course, I don't come home.
We're thinking about moving, but we're thinking about moving someplace warm. They're thinking about the new mayor in New York City is thinking about putting in metal detectors in the subway, and I was like, I'm out, bro. If that happens, I'm out.
Bro, you need to get out. Like,
it's mad expensive here too. So we're just waiting for.
It's expensive here too, but I can't say anything. But.
We're just waiting for Kelly to finish school, which she's almost done. She's gonna be done in May, and she's already gotten offers from hospitals to do surgical technician stuff. So, maybe your boy's gonna be full-time content creator. Maybe. Just gonna.
Hey,
I know. Right? We're gonna be chatting all day.
Bro, I literally at least once a week call Jared Neves and talk to him for an hour. We pick each other's brains on what videos.
He's awesome, that guy, and he's really, really good at YouTube. Like, I mean, one of the best. Yeah.
So companies that you think are nailing it and ones that you think are just kind of phoning it in at this point. Like you've got companies that were great at one point, and now they're just kind of like, meh. Like people are gonna buy it. Like people are gonna buy it no matter what we do. And then you got companies that are just hitting the market and stuff, and they're knocking it out of the park, and they're not getting a lot of recognition. That's what I mean by that.
I think that ZT is 100% phoning it in because I don't like any of their new stuff.
I-
Their old stuff I used to love so
Their
much.
new
The
stuff looks old.
the proudly
All their designs
overbuilt.
look old. They just look. It just looks like everything they make looks like it's from the fucking early 2000s.
Yeah.
Every
The-
fucking.
The proudly overbuilt era of ZT was my favorite, when they were, all this crazy machining and just like insane looking stuff. That's when I really, really liked them. And now I don't know if you watch any of their videos, like their little mini commercials, like I don't even know who they're marketing to anymore, because all these guys in like suits, kind of tech bros, but like too dressy. So I don't even know who they're going after anymore.
Well, that's because the parent company, Kai, is a
Mhm.
Japanese company.
Yep.
And they are just so everybody's like, well, Kai's an American company. I was like, no. Like ZT is an American company. No, ZT is an American branch of a
Yeah.
Japanese company that
Mhm.
owns like if you buy something in Japan that is made out of metal, or is something that is used to maintain something made out of metal, you're buying it from Kai. Sharpening stones, all that stuff.
Mhm.
They're all subsidiaries of Kai.
Yeah, it's like Kershaw, Shun, these
Kershaw,
companies,
Shun,
ZT,
it's all, yeah.
yeah, a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So it's all-
definitely that I just haven't liked anything they've done in a really long time. People that don't get recognition,
that are nailing it, not just companies that aren't getting recognition, but companies that are nailing it but not getting recognition.
I
Pardon
did.
me.
What's
Did
that?
not mean to I did not mean to burp in everyone's ear.
No, they're definitely getting the recognition. I think that I think that Kaiser like fell off for a little bit,
Mhm.
and some of their more recent stuff, and I've talked to Jared about this, has been getting better.
Mhm.
But I think people have just kind of written them off, like a lot of people. The whole thing with Kim Ning, that's the thing. I really like what they're doing, like concept. I really like what they're doing. That's the Kaiser people that dipped out and built
Yeah.
concept. That's why Tangram knives no longer exist, guys.
Yeah.
That was a great budget brand, and then all of a sudden they disappeared because that was Kim Ning's like thing, kind of. So, and now he's doing concept, and I think concept is doing really good, and I want them to get like more recognition. I really like them. If it's more of like the private, more custom, like kind of mid-techy, I really like Winter Blade Co. That is like, bro.
I've seen their stuff. I have not gotten to handle any of it, but
I've
seen
gotten
it.
to handle one. Shabazz sent me the custom before they did the production run, and I was blown away, dude. I've never played with anything like that. And then he loves my videos. Like the mad scientist behind that brand who's making all this stuff.
Mhm.
He will tell me like if something is funny or whatever. And I told him, I was like, bro, when that production run comes out, like let me make some silly vids from it, So there's a lot of these up and coming who don't manufacture on their own, but are making some really good stuff, So
who I have really seen over the last few months since Jared started sending me a bunch of stuff. Kubi.
Oh yeah,
Like
Kubi. Yeah.
Their stuff isn't like flashy. Like Kaiser still has knives that are flashy, and Migron's doing a good job, but their stuff
Migron's good
flashy
too. Yeah.
stuff. Kubi, every Kubi that Jared has sent me, it might not have been a knife that was for me, but I have found zero flaws in it. And that Kubi KU344, the Momentum, that's the knife that I got from Sharif Manganis, the designer. He sent me it as a gift, and I just realized I didn't fucking send his knife on again this week. But at any rate, that was the smoothest knife in my case.
Cool.
It's great. And so, I have this case that has got like several knives that are well up into the $800 to $1,000 knives in my case. Yeah. And that thing was still smoother than any other knife in my case.
Are you a robber? Kelly. Just making sure I'm not going to get killed. Just get murdered like on your live stream.
Yeah, but see, that's the nice thing about out here in San Diego. While it still is a dystopian Democrat wasteland, I still can have a pew pew, and I have one right next to me. Like when we were bringing, that's what I was doing. I was bringing it.
I would have one
stand
too.
and everything.
I gotta be honest.
Absolutely.
I probably would have one too if I didn't live here.
Bro, I'm like one exit from Mexico. Like,
yeah, it's like when you talk about like hunting and stuff. I want to get into that.
It's an expensive hobby. It's an expensive hobby.
I mean,
it's not like you're just going to buy like a $200 or $300 handgun and that you're
Yeah.
going to be able
Well, I
to
mean,
go
no,
out
I mean,
hunting. No, you got to have
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
like I want to hire somebody to take a guide to take me out and stuff and like teach me how to do stuff, things like that is what I,
I mean,
would
you're not.
wanna do.
It's not like you're hunting homeless people on the subways or anything.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I want to hunt like fucking deer and elk and boar and stuff
It's
like
fun.
that. You know,
I don't
get
I
some
haven't-
meat.
I haven't went hunting. I haven't went hunting in a very long time. I kind of, being in the military, I lost my taste for it a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's the companies. Now, I have to ask you, like, how often do you see people getting do they still do the Terry frisk stuff? Because I know when I went to New York, everybody's like, dude, leave
Good
your shit in
question.
the hotel. Like,
Good
leave your
question.
shit in the hotel.
So, how do I carry knives in New York would be the question, right? And do they still do all these weird stops and stop and frisk things, right?
Which I don't have a problem with if
Yeah.
it's keeping the crime rate down and
So the thing is, there is a bag check like at subway stations, usually around the end of the month. The conspiracy theory is that they need to get their quota up and they're just gonna, find some stuff in someone's bag and, like give them a ticket or something like that, take them in, whatever it is.
Put them on a watch list and now they can't fly on
so
airlines.
I have only gotten so for that reason, by the way, I don't carry any knives in my bag. It's always in my pocket, and I don't use the pocket clip. It is inside the pocket.
God, that's got to be a pain.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could just take the pocket clip off, and that would make every knife.
Yeah. That's why my when I showed the F5.5, I don't have any pocket clip on it. You see,
I'm honestly going to reach out to Lancelot Leather and see if he'll make me a pocket slip that's more like the old school. What do you call it? The old school pocket protector, where there's like a lip of leather that goes over the lip of the pocket, so you can just drop the knife down in. So I still have access to it, because I honestly, I see the functionality of pocket clips, and some of them are okay. But to tell you the truth, pocket clips, every pocket clip,
and
it's like
to carry.
It's like I've got a knife that's super comfortable. Let me put this big blocky thing on it. And especially companies like
I think the
Kaiser,
same way right now.
Kaiser makes some incredible knives, like the Kaiser Land. Beautiful knife, excellent knife. Took the pocket clip off. It was great. I would not buy that knife, and it's 100% because it's like every company. Well, pretty much every company. There's a lot of companies that don't like this Tucson. It's kind of thought out. The Grimsmo Norseman, the way the pocket clip is on that, kind of thought out. It's not like an afterthought. It's like a lot of these companies are like, oh, let's make these beautiful design knives. The designer makes this. Let's just put the standard. All of our pocket clips are the same.
Yep.
And the problem is most of them are shit.
Yes.
Like the Kaiser pocket clips are some of the fucking worst. You just, every once in a while, you happen to get lucky that maybe it's just that knife puts it in a position where it doesn't like try to like violate your hand anally.
Yeah, pretty much. So the way that I carry knives is I just put it in my pocket. I don't carry any knives in my backpack, which sucks because I'm limited to, like, I want to carry a multi-tool and stuff. I do like being prepared, even though my level of, the situations don't arise most of the time. And I'm not out there in Central Park feathering sticks, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like building a fire and stuff. I'm not
yet.
doing that.
Not yet.
Right?
So they turn off the electricity and you're having to like build fires in your apartment because
right?
it's coming.
Yeah,
New York is falling apart.
Yeah, New York would be the place to get attacked too. It already did. So can you imagine? Like I'm just building fires. I'm just live streaming. Oh, my wife is here. See, like this is why the channel succeeds. I've got a cute white girl with tattoos. Say hello. This is the Kelly.
How are ya?
Look at this brand new tattoo. Spent all the money. Just got it 2 days ago. Just say hi, babe. This is Mike.
Hello.
This is Kelly.
Nice to see ya.
All right.
All right.
See you later. She usually is the co-host of the live show, and she hops on to podcasts sometimes. Yeah. And just really awesome. Brings a little bit of estrogen into the channel, so she's a frequent. You'll see her all the time. And if you want to see more of her, she's all over the Patreon. And Ray and the Kelly is our vlog channel, by the way. That's RAIANDTHEKELLY on YouTube. You see us go around New York City. There's not a lot of knife talk in it. It's just like us eating amazing food. Because living in New York City,
that's the only thing that I would have to say that I loved about being in New York. Because I was there for a it was like a cross training event with with the New York police department, like
Yeah.
how they were doing their frisk and search and stuff. Because no joke, after September 11th, New York City had the best Operation Hercules and stuff like that, and all the stuff they're finding. And so it was a good training opportunity. Yeah, and I hated everything about New York except the fact that you could not swing a dead cat without hitting a really good restaurant. And some of the best ones are these little like cubby hole out of nowhere, just like people are like, oh no, like that's the best place to eat. You go in, it's like three seats. Yeah. And you go in and like you couldn't eat in, you just had to get takeout. You're like, and you would be outside eating on a bench. You're like, good God, this is good.
Yeah. That's how it is, and that's what we do on Ray and the Kelly on YouTube. What were we talking about before that? How do I carry my knives?
Carrying knives.
So, and I just carry everything in pockets. Pretty much, just try to keep the knife under 4 inches, because 4-inch blade length is the legal limit written.
Oh wow!
But some cops still do the old like palm trick, which is they shouldn't be doing that anymore. That's not how it works anymore. It's under 4-inch blade length. I try to keep it like under 3.5, maybe 3.25, 3 inch, just real small, because I have to keep it in the pocket too. So you know what I'm saying? And I wear skinny jeans,
especially they fall over.
You know what I mean?
You got like like what it looks like you got a bar of metal in your pocket.
Yeah, I wear skinny jeans, bro. I'm trying to keep. I gotta look young on these TikToks, man.
Okay, so, it's obvious that there's estrogen on your channel. That's bad for the boys, right? It lowers the testosterone levels.
The testosterone's still pretty good, man. It's still running pretty well.
You're still young.
Yeah, the sex is scheduled every Sunday morning. That is a given. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts with the Kelly. Like we have the signed contract, bro. Every morning, that's when we meet up to do the dirty. So the testosterone is
only that's
the day of the Lord, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's the only day. Like shit. Like Sunday was
busy.
Like, Sunday was like a pit stop. Like we gotta rest. We gotta rest. We gotta. This.
No, I'm too busy, bro. Too busy. The schedule is it's actually insane that I post content every day. And just this week alone, I did a live show on Monday, did another show on Wednesday. I did a live on Instagram at Urban EDC Supply this afternoon. Then I did this show with you right now. Tomorrow we're gonna record our Patreon. And I posted an Instagram Shorts, a TikTok every day. I post on Twitter every day, but I have a 6-day-a-week job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So immediately after...
Jared and I were talking about that because Jared's working full-time and still doing it. Like I can't, like I honestly can't like go back to work because of all the restrictions for the COOF pandemic. But yeah, there's a handful of guys that are just putting in work. Like Jared is doing it full-time now. I'm doing this full-time. And I mean, I don't see how you can still do it and be, because like I know that between editing, filming, and all the other crap that I have to do because my wife works. So any of the stuff that like the kid stuff, taking the kids,
you got to do that, right?
I'm the one doing, and I'm looking at like 6 days a week, like 12 to 16 hours a day.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much it. And, YouTube and social media content is just another job pretty much that I love. Actually, it's what I want to do. Kelly,
I've gotten that way now.
Yeah, it's what I want to do, bro. I honestly, like I am, when I talked to Jared, I was like, you got to treat this like a business if you want this to be something, and a lot of people don't think that way. There's some, people that create content in the community that think like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's like selling out or whatever. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about?
Well, but
this is a business, and it's also fun.
The first people. Those are also the first people that complain, like, I'm not getting the views. This guy must be buying views. This guy's buying subs, and I'm like,
bro, I hate that so much. It's like you have this old school mentality that you don't, because the stuff that Jared is doing, right? That information is out there. You can go on YouTube and look up YouTube like tips and stuff. That stuff is everywhere and is applied everywhere except the knife community. Yeah. Like I in terms of like social media content, I actually think the knife community is 10 years behind. If not more. Guys like Backpack B, Tri-State, Everyday Minimalist especially, I think he has the ability to cross like genres pretty much. Yeah. That's the direction he's heading. First of all, his videos are like extremely professional. The guy used to be a video game streamer, so he has a personality online. He has knowledge. I still think, though, in my opinion, I still think Jared is the best at YouTube strategy. I still think he is.
Well, I've jumped up almost 1,000 subs in the last 30 days.
Yeah, he told me that he worked with you.
Yeah, and that's like, and everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing?" Like this. I'm like, I literally did what Jared said. I doubled the videos that go up, and I do a short every day. And every one of my shorts, I'm guaranteed every one of my shorts, I get between 5 and 12 new subscribers.
That's
so you figure I'm doing 6 subs a week with 6 times 12. That's how many a week. And that's not counting the people that are finding the channel through live feeds, people that are getting notified of the videos. So like literally almost 1,000 subscribers in the last 30 days. And it took me
amazing.
Literally 4 years to get, it took me almost 4 years to get to 1,000 subs. And it has taken me 30 days to get from like 6,000 to from like 6,500 to like 6,000 or 7,300 ish.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you could really kill it if you just apply like and change certain things, you know, using certain keywords, and people don't understand that that's what you have to do. The other thing too,
this was a $30 investment in the green screen, and it was but that was the easy part. It was teaching myself how to do the actual edits and cleaning it up so it didn't look.
I like it, man. I like your setup, bro. Like, I think it's funky. You know, it's so funny. Some guy, I'm not sure who this guy is. He either has a hard on for you or he hates Asian people because on the podcast I did with everyday, and I'm not going to mention him by name, on the podcast I did with Everyday Minimalist, he comments on my podcast channel, not my main channel, that you basically stole my aesthetic but have less production value and you get more views than me. And he was talking on the podcast channel, which has 200 subs on it, right? And he specifically mentioned like, oh, Asian content creators are like being creeps towards women or something. And then the same guy showed up in Jared's live, like talking all this smack. So I decided to check this guy out. And like he has
call it out by name. Go ahead, because I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I checked this guy's channel out, and he has the blandest, like tabletop, no personality, no cadence, no flow to the way he talks. Got a lot of work to do, and it's just, you know, I was gonna talk smack back, but I'm like, when I see people like that, it's like, man, you gotta really have a lot of things going wrong for you in your life, bro, to try to do that, bro.
Here's how I started doing it. Like I see stuff like that in my comment section.
You gotta be really messed up in your own life to be like that.
Yeah. And then the other one is like I've realized this, like I kind of stay out of the comment section and try not to engage, because the fact is arguing with a stupid person is like playing chess with a pigeon in the park.
Oh, I blocked him immediately.
No matter how well you're doing, that pigeon is going to strut around and take a shit on the board and then strut around like he won anyway. It's just it's like you go nowhere. Stupid people will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience.
Yep. So I just blocked them, and then that's it. You know what I mean? And it's fine.
You're gonna have to DM me who that was. I think I have a sneaking suspicion that I already know.
I think he loves you though. He's like, yo, Mike Hamler. He's like, Mike Hamler. He's going like this. He's like, Mike Hamler.
Bro, you know, I told you that we had the death threats against the daughter and the stalker and all that shit. Like, it's fucking creepy. Why do you think that's why I'm like, people think I'm joking? I have a pew like right next to me.
Oh, dude, I would 100% have several, bro, like hidden around the crib.
I had one next to me. I had one in the stand and one on my belt.
100%, because you know, you have kids and all that. That's definitely
Okay. So I have to ask, and this isn't for Carrie, because I know you like the sea snake. So I wanted to ask you, fixed versus folder in actual use, not for carry, because I know that's going to be more difficult for you to carry. Which do you prefer in actual use? Because I know I prefer fixed blade.
I've gotten accustomed to using folding knives, pocket knives, because I just have so much of them. But however, I've done stuff like I want a Civivi fixed blade Elementum, and that is what I use to cut like onions and stuff, because like I didn't know what else to do with it. And also, like, for example, I'm coming around to fixed blades, maybe not for carry, but you know, I'm sponsored by AZ in New York. Shout out to AZ in New York. Follow them on Instagram. They're a big, like, you know, like a camping, glamping, ATV tours kind of place in upstate New York. And I'm going to need a knife to go up there when I do go up there. And I'm going to bring a fixed blade, bro. I'm not going to bring a folding knife.
Upstate New York is a pretty wild place.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere. Once you're out in New York City, the rest of New York is a lot of woods.
I think the highest concentration of Lyme's disease is like from upstate New York, bro. Yeah, look, I have this guy right here. I didn't know what it was. This is the Everyday Tactical Dad. I think is the guy who made this. It's in Magna Cut. I mean, look at these scales. Just really
Well, he designed
pretty.
it. I know who
Yeah,
made it.
yeah, he designed it. Sorry. Some guy dropped this off. A homie of mine asked me to
Hang on a
check it
second,
out.
let me bring it up so everybody
Yeah,
can
it's
see
like I like fixed blades, man. You know, the thing is, it's harder for me to conceal them in New York City, or maybe I would have like a Bradford Guardian or something like that. You know, but no, I really like them a lot. I bought a fixed blade from Eugene Kwan from Ohlone Knives. It's got like abalone and all this cool like coconut shell type stuff on the scales. So I do like them for use, like breaking down packaging. It's probably better because you don't have to worry about anything failing. Like really, you know. So
that is the good thing. And
Yeah.
like I always liked. That's why I kind of made the C-stake.
Yeah.
Having a small fixed blade in a construction site where you're wearing gloves, and sometimes you're wearing like rubber gloves underneath leather gloves. You can't operate.
No.
It's pretty nice.
Imagine like disengaging a frame lock.
I don't have to imagine. It sucks. You got to take your gloves off to do it. And shit. You're like, it just takes too much time.
Yep.
So we're at the hour mark, and I know that I'm just gonna make you stay longer because we are about halfway done with the questions. But I also have a bunch of stuff saved because we're gonna do the thing like you did. We're gonna look at knives. We're gonna rate them. But we're gonna
Okay, cool. Let's do that.
Yeah, but so I have a couple more questions left, and I just lined a couple out because you kind of answered it in the rest of it. Okay. But have you seen the guy that is doing I want to know if you've actually seen him. So if you could ask him, I want to know what he's charging. The guy that was tattooing the dude's ass in the New York subway, like at the subway station. Have you seen that video?
I have not seen the video or the guy, but I've seen a lot of crazy things.
Yeah, there's a guy with a tattoo gun and all his shit, and he's giving this guy a tattoo on his right ass cheek, and he's laying on like a folding table in the subway. As the guy gets off the train, he's filming it with his phone. This guy's giving him a tattoo on his ass cheek in the subway.
Wow.
So if you see
I wonder
him,
if that's legal or not.
I don't know. I'm just curious what he's charging. Like if you see him, just ask him. He's like, what's the average going rate? Because
maybe free. He gives a guy a tattoo. It makes for good content. It's good marketing for a tattoo shop.
It's
excellent.
It's a hell of a way to catch hepatitis.
Yeah. I know. Dude, on the train, bro. Chill.
Not on the train. Like as the guy's getting off the train and the steps going up at the subway station, like he's right at like
it's like on the platform.
On the platform. He's on the platform. So there's the platform. You're getting off. He's right there, and there's the steps leading up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I wish I could see that and see what's going on. Ask him how much.
We may be able to try and find it here in a little bit.
If I do, I will take a video. 100%.
Just ask him. Just ask him on camera. Like,
okay,
what do you charge? Okay, so you're not going to hurt anyone's feelings because I've talked to a lot of designers about this, and it's a question they like to hear, like what other people like other than their designs. Who is your current favorite designer?
Oh, that's
because like right now, mine's Dylan Mallory. Like he's got some. Really
I like Dylan Mallory a lot.
Yeah,
I like.
He's got some designs that I really, really love.
I like him too. Like as a person, he's a cool dude.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, played video games with him online. Did a few podcasts with him. Really, really cool dude. He's like the most innocent man I know. Like when I talk to him.
The nice thing if you ever get in a fight with him, you just put your hand on his forehead. He just swings. I get you. I'll get you.
He's like so innocent in the way he speaks, like how he carries himself. I'm like this dude. And then he just takes like a badass microtech. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? Recently I haven't been picking up a lot of knives. I've just been getting a lot of stuff sent in. I've always liked Voxnays. I've always liked Anso. Who's that? Isham, one of my favorites.
Elijah Isham.
I like his stuff.
Elijah's really good.
A lot, dude. That's probably it right there. If you were to ask me, I like Elijah Isham
his
stuff a lot.
Is so I like the fact that I like to pick on. He's like the knife. He's the knife hipster, is what I always call him. But like his designs are so crazy looking, but they're still comfortable. They're still functional, except for the eschaton. That was complete ridiculousness.
Yeah, sometimes it's ridiculous, and sometimes it looks ridiculous, but it's actually functional. You know what I mean?
The eschaton was. Yeah. He said specifically, he's like, it was not meant to be. It's like it was just.
And the Winter Blade Co. guy, I like everything that he's built. And you look at his Instagram. Shout out to Winter Blade Co. on Instagram. Follow this guy. He's like the mad scientist of the knife world right now. Like everything that he does, he's like, oh, a magnet does this to flip the thing open, and it has.
I've seen that.
I'm
It's
like, what
nuts.
the hell? Yeah, he has like autos too now. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So really good designer.
Last question, then I have a goofy question. So, oh shit, what was I getting ready to say? A knife that you kind of expected to be great and you were a little bit disappointed with. Like for me, it was like I just did the video. I don't know if everybody saw it or not. I did an unboxing. I had a Vero Engineering isotope here, and for all of the stuff that I saw about it, I was expecting. I'm like, I don't like it. Like I didn't like it at all. Like I probably am not going to give it a full review video. I'm going to send it back to Beardo the Weirdo and just not even do a video on it. He's one of my paying members.
Yeah, I didn't get to try any Veros. I've been interested in it. I've never handled any, but I do have one right now. And I thought I was going to really like this a lot because my boy Cole at Tri-State like really hyped it up, and I have it here. This is the Snex Mini Buster.
Oh, I hated that thing. I hated it.
Because I like this like sort of futuristic aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know, and it's really expensive for what it is.
I'm
just not that.
It felt like for me that it just really wasn't like anything that special. And then like with all the price and all this stuff, I was like, you know what? I don't like this at all. I didn't even like it. Came, I got it. I forget who sent it to me, and it showed up. And they're like, yeah, if you want to do a video, I didn't even do an unboxing. Like I didn't do an unboxing or first impressions. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I did not like it very much. He did send me a Riat Bushido though, which I liked very much. So
that's a nice.
I really, really liked it. I love Riat, man.
Riat. I've never. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a lemon from Riat. If you get a lemon from Riat, like what I've had is I've had people that design a knife and then Riat does the OEM for them, and people are like, oh well, Riat fucked that up. And I'm like, no. That's because the designer sent that design to Riat, and they were like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And then they made it, and they made it exactly to his specs, and he fucked that up.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way you're going to get a bad knife that comes out of Riat as OEM is if it's not a good design. Like that, like if there's problems with the design, they're going to come out. And if things aren't finished, like you'll see knives that come out and you'll have really reputable companies do them. And then you get them and they've got like sharp edges and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not the company's fault. People are like, oh, the fuck. No, don't blame the company that did the OEM. Blame the designer that wrote the CAD. Because I guarantee that Riat had their engineers reach out and go, are you sure you don't want to fillet this? You don't want to chamfer this?
Exactly.
Like, no, I like the design exactly. And then it comes out and no one likes it. And they can't figure out why. Having designed knives, I will tell you that like, oh, I screwed that up. And then you get it. You're like, no, can we change this? Like you knock that jimping down and stuff. Like I didn't. So last question.
Yep.
Walking around New York, sometimes does it feel like you're in a Fallout game?
Yes. Every day is definitely like that because you will see, people on fentanyl that are like this.
Oh, on the lean, like on the nod, like fucking.
But also you have the fentanyl and meth combination, and they're just like. They're going like this.
That's the dude that's dancing. That's the dude that's dancing.
And then they open the door for you at 7-Eleven because they want money. They're opening the door for you at 7-Eleven. So there's a lot of that going on. And some of them ask you for money on the train. There's a lot of like hucksters and stuff too, trying to like get money from you. But I'm like, bro, your dad is like a lawyer probably. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like in my head, I can see through it because I lived here since 87. So
there's a guy out here in San Diego that I know personally.
Yeah.
Like he's retired military.
Yeah.
And he has a fucking nice ass house.
Yep.
And I've seen him several times.
Yeah.
Because he's got his retirement. His wife makes money. He parks his car around the corner and he goes out on the corner because there's so many people because San Diego's such a nice place. it's beautiful and the weather's always nice and people are always in a good mood because they're coming to visit. As you get these people from the West and they see this guy out on a corner and he's like, oh, I just lost my job. And he's got a bucket and he's like taking that change.
I'm a veteran or something, right?
And then he goes, and he goes and he gets in his Kia Sorrento and drives to the bank and dumps all those coins in the coin thing and just adds it to his account.
That's
and
so
he's making like $3,000 a month just on retirement.
He's hustling,
I know that.
bro.
Oh, he's
hustling.
He's
hustling, dude.
So okay,
maybe I should get on the street, bro, instead of this YouTube stuff.
Yoda says it sounds like Portland. Yeah, it does sound like Portland. So I've got 4 knives up. I had a couple others, and I want to look at them, and we'll get your take on. It's going to be kind of like your sharp or dull, dope or nope,
dope or nope,
fail or not. I love that channel. I love Dope or Nope. That's one of my favorite.
That's awesome.
That channel is my guilty pleasure. I've watched it since it was just Matthias. When it was just that was the name of this channel, was Matthias. And it was High Five Studios, and it was Dope or Nope, and then it was Matthias by himself. It was Matthias with like 2 or 3 other people, and now it's him and like Woods and Tanner, and that's my Saturday go-to. I wake up and I know they're going to post like 5 PS5 accessories you didn't know you needed, and I'm like, ooh,
I watch a lot of that type of stuff too. Yeah, like
too.
the tech stuff.
I love that channel. Yeah, I love that channel because they always find because I know they're potheads. Tell. You can tell that they're potheads because they find the goofiest shit. Like here a couple weeks ago or last week, like they bought like the muscle suit top, like the silicone muscle suit, and Tanner wore it around and he was going into people's offices and taking off his shirt, and people were like, that is so creepily, eerily real. It doesn't, and I love that channel. It's hilarious.
It's so funny.
So yeah, I've watched that even back in the day when Matthias was just doing like music production on his channel. I watched it back then too.
So you could just change your YouTube channel name?
Yeah, I've changed mine. I changed mine a couple of times. You don't want to do it too often because then
they get mad.
Bro, Nick, I didn't say anything because if you guys watched my live feed on
What's
Wednesday
wrong with
after, I'm not gonna lie, I had to. So Wednesday was 420, and I did my live feed. I did the live feed that I had planned, and we went through the Boker catalog, and then I did a live feed only for the paying members. Like they were the only people that could log in, and we watched goofy like code blue videos and people getting tased, and I fucking smoked out with my That's awesome. Apparently with inhibitions being low, I was like, tase him, pepper spray him in the mouth, shit. And YouTube first sent me first they stopped the stream because it was like
you're showing dangerous acts.
No, it was because it was copyrighted content. One of the videos that I put in was copyrighted content, so they stopped the feed, and then so we ended that, and then we went into StreamYard and we just watched in the lobby. Yeah. And but after that, I got a restricted adult restriction on that video. Then I got one that they said, like, if you have to take this video down. Like, if you don't take it down, if you have like a certain period of time, if you don't take the video down, we're probably going to assess you a strike. And I'm like, yeah, let's take that down.
Yep.
And I was like,
yeah, we're just like right on the edge, I think, when we do the Patreon, when we watch stuff. There's definitely boobs. There's definitely like raunchier stuff, sometimes serious things too, but that's what we do on Patreon.
In the lobby, like when you and I met up before I went live,
you could just hang there.
I just have one of those built, and so what I'll do is I'll just take that link and I'll just send it. That's how I'm going to do it from now on. I will do some new like members only live feeds and videos, but it's not going to be like that. We're not doing that again. We'll do that. We can do that where there's no restrictions, where YouTube doesn't hate us. So the first knife that I want to bring up is a Spyderco, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to share the screen.
All right.
So share this Chrome tab. And so when I heard about this knife, I was kind of stoked because it was designed by several people all together, and there was a lot of martial arts influences and combat influences. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm digging that. And then this is what they came up with.
I'm not into it.
You're not into it?
No.
Not digging it? Not feeling it?
So the top thing is like if you want to fight with a knife the other way and you want to, what is the top? Like it's a saw stuff or?
And that's a serrated edge. That I tried to zoom in on this further and it won't let me.
I wonder what is it for? Do you know what it's for?
So it was a it's actually was supposed to be a new take on a combat knife and had a lot of martial arts influences. You got a skull crusher, but like it's pretty hideous. And then the flip side of that is like, if you look at the steel marking on that, that's H1 steel.
And is that like the FRN scale? Like,
it's
I'm looking at this thing. It's like it's like if you asked an AI to create a Spyderco fixed blade, this is probably what they would make. It's so weird.
So, okay, from a rating, because we're going to do this Dungeons and Dragon style, because I'm old school board games. 1 being a critical fail, 20 being a critical hit.
Yeah, I'm going critical fail.
Critical fail. You're going all the way to 1. Like they just getting a flat line. It's not even getting a 3. You got a between 1 and 20. You could get it in the middle, but like
okay. All right.
So when I first heard about it, I was really stoked.
I'm trying to like find things that I like about it. That's what I'm trying, right? But that there isn't aesthetically, and I'm not a a combat knife type guy, so I have a lot of experience in that, which is weird because Philippines, Eskrima, like Arnis and all this stuff.
Right?
Like I didn't learn any of that. I took karate for some reason.
So now are you ready for the rest of this?
Okay.
Look at the price. Like I was trying to hide the price.
Wow, bro.
$409.
That's the MSRP. So it'd probably be like 3 something, right?
The cheapest I ever saw one was like $390. Because Spyderco, here's the thing, like Spyderco is really weird about their MSRP.
Yeah.
Like MSRP and MAP are so close.
So it would probably be like $390.
That's what I was gonna say. The cheapest I ever remember seeing it was like $390, which is only $10 off MSRP. And if you're military or law enforcement, you can get it cheaper than that.
I'm gonna go
directly from Spyderco. Spyderco is one of those weird companies that like they don't allow MAP, to be real low.
I'm gonna go critical fail, bro. I have to, man, on this one. Yeah, there's some like tactical knives I do really like. Some like combat knives I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's badass. This is not that.
It is not. And I've actually gotten to handle one, and I'm gonna tell you they're not comfortable. The FRN scales on it are really kind of harsh. They're aggressive.
God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 1.
Go a 1. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Like it's like a 1 or a 2. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure that thing would slice really well, but the problem is it's H1 steel and it's not gonna slice well for very long. It's gonna be like, oh, I cut one thing and I got
Spyderco Warrior. The top of the blade can break other blades.
So when you look at it, it was like I forget. So it's the Korean martial art of Hwarangdo, produced comedies by Hwarangdo. Yeah, Bob Taylor. It's not.
It's Hwarangdo.
Yeah, it's not. So you're looking at overall length 10 inches.
I could do that because I'm Asian.
My wife disagrees with me on how to pronounce. Like I'll see stuff like well, because my wife's Japanese, so her pronunciation of some words is going to be different. It's like she sees stuff, and I'm like, babe,
I grew up with Koreans. Like, I wanted to be Korean at one point. That was the only like race that I was hanging out with, Yeah, and
bro, we were talking about it, and people think it's funny when I tell them the story, but like to go back to the music stuff, because we talked about it a little bit on your channel. I grew up in Southeast Ohio, right? And so like Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, shit like that. That's you had Saint Willie, and but when I tell people like my eclectic taste in music, like we had a kid that moved into town that was from New York. And so when he came into town, like he still had family. And so he was getting like mixtapes from family, like radio dubs. And so I started hearing stuff like Master Ace and some of the guys that were on the East Coast, like New York, like Let's Take a Walk in the Hood by Master Ace. One of the best, true, honest to God, like really lays down what hood rap was about. Like laying down what the ghetto was like in New York. And then I had a friend that had cousins in California. And so we started getting stuff like Too Short and stuff like that, like old school West Coast rap. And so we, like that whole group of us that grew up in high school had the weirdest taste in music. Like I still listen to like Willie Nelson, and if my stuff's on like mix, it'll go Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Rick Ross, Port of Miami. And like people are like, what the fuck just happened? They'll be in my car and they're like, what just happened? I'm like, oh, my iPod's on shuffle. And they're like,
Yeah.
wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I got
Bro, your iPod is on shuffle? You got the iPod,
I have a physical iPod in my car, still plugged in.
That's so crazy.
Until it's working, it has my old school original, like all of my CDs that I had ripped and all that stuff. It has a bunch of old school stuff.
So it's like one of the bigger ones, dude. I think my girl
it's like 100. It's like
an iPod Nano in the drawer here.
No, this is the big. This is the big square one with the click wheel in the middle.
Yeah. I used to have that one too, the big one. Yeah, 64 gig or something like that.
Yeah, it's 64 gig, and it's plugged. It's physically plugged into the port in my car. It sits in a spot. That one's. I think 2010.
I think I have one at my mom's. I left mine over there.
You can't even get a cord for it anymore because it's the old 32 pin, like the
weird
long
thing.
30. Yeah.
You have to buy it from like eBay or something, probably.
You can't get them. Like Amazon will have them every once in a while. Too Short, Cuss Words was my favorite album. Yeah. Cuss Words, let them flow. Motherfucking shit, goddamn asshole. Yeah, I mean, like I still remember the lyrics to all these songs. So the next knife we're going to look at. Oh Jesus, I don't know if I've got it in me for all of these. Ooh, some of these are bad. Some of these are bad. Actually, you know what? Let's do a good one. Let's look at a good one. Let's look at one I like, and we'll bring it up. We'll share this Chrome tab. This one, because I recently started carrying this one. Have you gotten to see?
So I saw this on Neve's Knives Live on Wednesday, and someone is sending me one because I do like this.
I have Jared's here.
Yeah.
It's on my workbench.
I do like this. I'm very interested in this. This is like kukri style. And Seems Logical said he's gonna send me one. I think it's freaking cool, dude.
I really am surprised at how much I like. I was conflicted. I saw it when I first saw it on Jared's channel. I was like, that looks awesome. And then I was like, and then I got it and I was like, I'm not 100% sure because I was cutting with it. And because of that weird angle, I was getting way up into the choil. And once I addressed how I was like actually cutting with it, it's up on a shelf right now because it's on my shelf of stuff that has to be put in rotation for carry so I can do a review. Because unlike a lot of knife reviewers, like I do like a first impressions after the first day of carry, and then I rotate that through and I carry it throughout like a 2-week period, and then it gets a full review. And then I lay down how it cuts, the things I liked about it. Did it sharpen? Did I need to sharpen it? How did it feel after a few days? Because, you have those first impressions and then you have like, how's it feel after 2 weeks? Like, did you lose any love for it? Stuff like that.
Yeah. You got to follow up.
So I've been carrying this one on and off for, 3-4 days now. And I'm digging it. It's so smooth and it carries so well.
I'd probably give this one like a 15 at least.
Yeah, I was thinking like 12 to 15 in that range.
It's pretty nice, man. I even aesthetically, just from a casual standpoint, because I am a casual like EDC.
Let me actually grab it and I can show you the one thing.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. When I saw it on Jared's live, I was like, I want to try that.
So the one thing that I've noticed that and it's 100% aesthetics. Is do you see how deep they scalloped that and then left that completely? You don't feel it. Like at first you but then you get used to it.
Okay.
But when you look at it, you're like, it's almost like it's like they forgot to do something. And I know they did it intentionally because you have great access to that lock. That thing is hazardously
That's awesome, dude. That thing looks awesome.
So on this side, it looks great. And on this side, when it's closed, it looks great. But when it's open and you look at it, you're like,
I know what you mean. Aesthetically,
guys,
it's like this
get something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It feels like maybe they should have had that curvature a little bit just to give it a little bit, more pleasing to the eye, just a little bit. But, if it works, man, I'm willing to forgive that.
You don't feel it. It's like you don't even notice it. And it's the jimping on it's pretty good. And it is thin. Like it is nice and thin behind the edge. So it cuts well. But like it when you get it, you're going to be like, oh crap. Your like instinct is to try and cut. And it's just going to, because of that angle, it's going to like wind up in and you're like, why is this not cutting? And then you got to get way up on, you got to get up in here and it cuts so good.
I can't wait to try it, man.
Somebody mentioned something like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone Thugs and Harmony was so dope, when they came out.
I worked with the guy that was their producer. Like he had a company and he was one of their producers.
And I miss my Uncle Charles, yo. Remember that? Remember the music video?
Yeah.
The Crossroads, bro. That was so sick.
But this guy that I worked with, he worked for me with Lockheed Martin. He had had a bunch of tax money problems because he didn't know how to run his business. He went through a divorce and lost all the money. But he's got like pictures of him. Like he would show me pictures all the time of him with them, and he's got the gold record still on the wall at his place. And I was like, that is fucking. And then you got like, because Bone Thugs and Harmony is from Ohio, where I'm from.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Bone Thugs and Harmony was from Ohio.
I used to love that, man.
I can't remember if it was Cleveland.
Crossroads so many times, yeah,
bro.
So many times. And then when I would hear it on the radio, I'd be like, yo. Everybody's trying to like rap it, but they can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't. It's like,
dude, I printed out the lyrics and was carrying it like in my book bag.
You're like, there's no fucking way. It's like trying to do Rap God at karaoke. You're like, how does he do that? It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Let's do one more knife and then I'm gonna head out because like,
all right,
Kelly
cool. So
in the other room, like,
well, we'll do two real quick because I've got them already set up, and
all right,
then we'll
no
be
problem.
done, and then we'll do this. So let me stop this screen. So the next two, so there's one that's great, I think, and one that's not. So let's see how you feel about this one, and then I've got something to tell you. Have you seen this before?
Yes. And
have you ever handled one?
I have never handled it. Yeah.
So this is
the
one
really
with the
expensive
deadbolt lock.
CRKT, right?
Okay, I was hoping that you wouldn't know the price.
I remember it was super expensive.
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
Nick Shabazz had this. He had the big version of this. $750.
Yeah, I know. I've never. I mean, I wish I could have tried it out. So, I'm not gonna give it a high mark. It's not a critical fail like the Spyderco, though.
No,
I would say it's past 5, right? Maybe like 8 or something, 7. Because as a knife, if they were going to send it to me, I would love to just handle it. You know what I mean? And just like check it out. But it's not, I mean, for the price, especially, and it's a CRKT, like, bro, no way.
CRKT's got some pricey stuff in their catalog these days. I don't know what they're thinking. And it's typically almost always tipped down.
It's XHP and then Flavio Icoma.
And it's the deadbolt. But yeah, it was $750. Because I've gotten to handle it. I'm gonna give it like a 10 out of 20.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
I'm pretty close. I said 7, 8.
Yeah, but it's close. Just. I mean, I think it was just kind of a novelty.
Yes, it's definitely a novelty. And it's.
Let's go ahead. We'll look at this last one. You got a 7. I went 10. Let's go ahead and look at this last one because I know how I feel about this one.
Okay. All right.
I want to see what you think. Chrome tab, and I think you already looked at it. I think you're gonna. So this is that one we just talked about. That's that QB Momentum.
Yeah, I think Jared was playing with this on the.
Yeah, he had just gotten one.
Love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Smash.
Here's the thing that really did it for me. Like I've got fan of symmetry. So if you look how the blade grind and the scales kind of come together to make a V.
Yeah,
I dig it. And the fact is, it is ridiculously smooth. Like everybody jokes about like, oh, it's like Jared says like, oh, it's like it's riding on oil glass. This one truly is. This was the smoothest knife in my knife case.
Wow,
when I did that video.
That's insane.
And
I gotta try that.
I
can't order these.
Put my Norseman in it, huh?
Yeah, I can't order these because on Amazon they don't ship to New York.
Fucking order it and send it to my house and I'll mail it to you.
If it comes out on like White Mountain or something, I've been meaning to get more into like the budget stuff because I feel like I get enough of the sort of like $200 to $300 range on the channel. I don't, that's why I did that live show today of the QBKU 322 versus the petrified fish beluga.
I like the 322, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a Arias." No, it's not. Like I've handled Arias.
It's an Arias.
Does the blade shape? Is it have a similar blade shape?
It's like maybe chubby, bro. This thing.
It's a fat.
I like it though. Yeah, I chose this.
Cut with that thing. You can cut with hours before
I love thing
about those bigger, thicker knives.
I love this part right here.
Yeah,
how this goes up, and you have the jimping right there. It's like perfect. I love it, and it's like under $50, man. I mean, it's crazy, So I've been meaning to get more into QB and all that.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know I ran you an hour longer than you typically do, but like I could have asked more questions, but like.
It was all right. 120 is good.
Yeah. I typically do 2 hours per podcast, but I mean, it's close enough. We're good.
But thank you so much for having me on, man. Guys, definitely, head on over to YouTube, youtube.com/everydaycitycarry, youtube.com/RainTheKelly, and youtube.com/everydaycitycarry podcast. If you want to see me, talk to some of your favorite knife content creators. We talk to big dogs, Shabazz, Complex, Cedric.
If you drop that stuff, you drop all that stuff in the comments. I'll pin it. That way they can find all that stuff.
Yeah, I will do that. And also,
then tell Metal Complex I want to get him on the podcast because he doesn't answer my DMs.
He is so busy, bro.
He's a dick. Dick is a dick.
I do talk to him a lot. And also on Tuesday mornings at 7:30 a.m. EST, if you don't want to listen to the depressing news, bro, and you want to hear a familiar voice and a friendly face, Good Morning EDC episode 3 is coming out on Tuesday. We unbox a package from the prestigious Urban EDC Supply. We don't know what's in it. We go through it together.
It's like battle box. It's like having a battle box. My wife,
but it's like dope stuff, though. You know what I mean? It's Urban EDC Supply, man. Thank you so much, Mike. It was awesome.
No problem.
To be on
yeah, I mean, you're always like, this was a podcast, but you're always welcome to jump. If you just want to jump in on a live feed, let me know. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do live feeds.
That's awesome. And you too, dude. Let's say you design another knife, bro. You should do a little live show podcast run. Hop online. We'll promote that.
I've got a couple designs out there that are just waiting for a company to bite on. So I designed a dagger. There's another version of the sea snake that I call the Mukade, or the Habu, I mean, which is it's a drop point version. So sea snake, it was kind of the Warrenclyffe, like an ocean style, like a nautical style knife. And then the drop point, which is something you would use, the Habu, which is a Japanese land snake. Venomous. I name all my knives after venomous creatures.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I love that, bro.
All right, bro. I'll tell you what, I'll let you go. Guys, if you are watching this, I am probably going to do an after show here in just a little bit. So give me maybe 30, 40 minutes because it's still early here. It's like 7:30. It's what time I usually go live. So, and remember, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, if you want to see the video where you can see all the stuff we showed, feel free to follow the link that's in the description of the podcast. Ray, it's been great. We're going to have to do this again sometime when we've got some other.
Have a good night, bro.
Take it easy,
so much,
and I will see you later. Guys, that was a lot of fun. Ray's a good dude. Had me on his podcast. So we will end this. If you want to join me, I will do an after show here in a little bit for a couple hours because, it's really early here. And I had coffee. So, guys, love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. Go check it out on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the Apple Podcast. It is the Beer and Blades podcast on Apple Podcasts. And I will see you guys on Monday in another live feed. Or if you decide you're going to stick around, I will see you in maybe 20 minutes. Less than that, probably about 10. All right, guys. Later.